What a crazy game of football. What an absolutely crazy game of football. That has to go down as the game of the season. It has to. It absolutely has to. What have I just witnessed here as an Arsenal fan? I've just watched my team. First of all, I'm going to go out and say that I've actually watched my team play in a title deciding match. I never thought I'd see the days at Arsenal Football Club. Normally when I watch these type of games, it's Man City versus Liverpool, etc., where it's a game that Arsenal don't really have any implication on, but it's just a fun football game to watch. This wasn't a game that had implication on the title, and I was watching my team play it, man. I was watching Arsenal involve this match, hammer and tongs with Liverpool here, knowing that both sides, Liverpool were playing for less than Arsenal, of course, but it's still at Anfield. It's still a place as a fortress. They hadn't conceded a goal at home in the whole of 2023. Their last game at Anfield was a 7-0 crushing defeat against United. But here today, Arsenal, oh my God, what have I watched? I don't know whether to feel lucky that we got a point or disappointed that we didn't get three. It's crazy how football can change. And this is why I've been saying, I said it all the streams along, and people have been saying, oh, it's not the same Liverpool. It's not the same Liverpool. I said, if we win at Anfield, Arsenal win the Premier League title. Because it's that kind of place, man. There's no other place where we're 2-0 up, yet we still were lucky to get a point. It's crazy. To be honest, Arsenal had this game. It was 2-0 and they somehow blew their lead. Liverpool could have won. Arsenal just got lucky, in my opinion. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. At 2-0, Arsenal, it was our game to lose. So that's why I don't know whether to look at this game and go, oh my God, I'm so lucky we escaped with a point, especially given what happened at the end. Or look at it and go, why didn't we win this football match? There's so many talking points. Honestly, I could sit here and live stream for the next hour and a half, and I probably will, because there's so much to talk about in this game. I mean, we go all the way back to it and think, what an amazing start by Arsenal. Right from the word go, we were at them. And I said, if we make this a football match, man for man, we are a better team than Liverpool. We've got a better midfield. We've got a better defence. We've got a better attack. Man for man, we are a better football team than Liverpool. And we made it a football game, and we went 2-0 up, and it was deservedly so. First goal from Martinelli, second goal from Jesus, and at that point I'm thinking, it's good. It's calm. But I also said, I had my dad sitting next to me, I said, we need one more goal. Because at 3-0, the game's done in many respects. I think at 3-0, it's curtains. But at 2-0, if they get one back, which they did, it becomes a very dangerous football match. And then the game changed on a big moment from Granit Xhaka. I don't care what Arsenal fans are saying. Oh, you can't put it on Xhaka. I'm putting this on Granit Xhaka. He lost his head. Now, did Trent Alexander-Arnold swipe out at him? 100%. Just firm it. Take the L and firm it. If someone kicks out at you, walk away. Don't give them an inch, a smell, like a sniff of danger. Don't give them a sniff of weakness, because that crowd was up. And that Liverpool crowd, that Anfield crowd, was at it, man. They were like a violent gang. They were ready and raring to go from that moment. And literally a minute later, they score. Mohamed Salah scores. And then it's going to half-time too, and I'm thinking, oh, this is dangerous, man. It's very dangerous, but at the same time, if Arsenal get the next goal, it's good. If we made that game 3-1, we were sorted because they would have nullified the crowd. It's crazy, man. Devastated that we bottled the 2-0 lead, but Liverpool Anfield against the top six this season, both teams could have easily got handed 3 points. Exactly, it's a crazy game from an Arsenal perspective, because I'm sitting here, and even now, I can't decide whether I'm happy with the point or disappointed we didn't get 3. I think it's a bit of both. Given that we were 2-0 up, I'm disappointed we didn't get 3 points. But at the same time, I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, oh my God, just as this comment says right here, thank God for Ramsdale, and I can't believe Salah missed a penalty kick. Ramsdale made some key saves, some big saves. And I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, if we won this match, that is God saying that Arsenal are going to win the title. If Arsenal won this match, it's God saying Arsenal are going to win the title. The fact we've drawn it, could you say the same thing? Because even when it's at 2-2, when Firmino scored, I knew that brother was going to score as soon as he came on the pitch, by the way. Always scores against us, Firmino. Look at the chance they had, Salah strikes, deflects off Gabriel, and Ramsdale palms it away. Save of the season, the way he reflexes this away. Unbelievable save. Then at the death, Konate, ready to head it in. He just kind of just like chests it, and Ramsdale again palms it away. It's unbelievable defending. Goal line defending. The goalkeeper has done an absolute top job here to save us 3 points. And honestly, if the Arsenal team look at this and go, look, it's a point gain at the end of the day. It is in Man City's hands now, the title. Just as much as it is in ours. It's in Man City's hands. But you got to look at it and say, that is a hell of a performance. And I genuinely think this is going to be the hardest game. I think this is harder than the Etihad. Going to Anfield, I don't care how bad Liverpool are. I've heard it all week. Arsenal fans, Liverpool fans all saying, Liverpool fans going, oh, we're so bad this season. Arsenal fans going, it's not the same Liverpool. Boys and girls, those of you that have been here on this stream for the whole week, my friends watching, they know that. I've said I don't care how bad Liverpool are. Give me the worst Liverpool team. Give me a Liverpool's academy team. I don't care. It's Anfield. Anfield's the hardest place to go in world football. It's never an easy game. And now these fans can straight up see it. Anyone that disagreed with me throughout the week when I said I don't care what it is, it's going to be a tough game, now they see. This is the toughest game Arsenal will play. This Liverpool team stinks. They're so bad, this Liverpool team. Trust me, I've watched them a lot this season. But at Anfield, it's a different breed. They're a different football team. You saw in the first half, their defending is terrible. It's horrible. In the second half, we barely could make... I think only on 2 occasions in the second half did we actually pass through them. It's crazy. It's only on 2 occasions, do I remember in that second half, where we actually passed through them. Other than that, we couldn't get anywhere near the ball. It was all Liverpool in that second half. That is what Anfield does sometimes. It is a ground house. It is a dog house. It is not a place you want to play football. But we didn't lose. And I said, people asked me, would I take a draw at Anfield? I said yes before I said I'd take a draw because I want to stop the bleeding. I'm sorry, I don't want to stop the momentum. And a draw I don't think stops the momentum because at Anfield, it's a tough place to go. I would have loved to win. I did say before on streams, if Arsenal do win at Anfield, I will come out and I will say on this stream right now, Arsenal going to win the Premier League title. I guarantee it. We didn't win, but I still think it's a good point. I really do. I think it's genuinely a good point. I'm disappointed we didn't get 3 points given how the game went and given how we were 2 up in the first half and cruising, to be completely honest, at Anfield. But the way that second half went, it was avoidable, but you got to dig yourself out, man. It's like when you've got a stock, you've bought it at bottom, and then you can sell it at the top, you don't quite sell it, but then you feel like you have to sell it later. Like, you don't get as much profit as you could have done, but you still get some profit. That's what it kind of feels like this game. We could have got 3 points. It was in our grasp. After about 35, 40 minutes, you're sitting there thinking, oh my days, we're cruising to 3 points here. But we don't. And at the end of the day, you got to take the point. You got to take the point. I don't get why they subbed off Ødegaard for Kivior. I kind of see why he did that because he's made that substitution before Arteta. He, of course, wanted to just bring on another defensive body. But Kivior was a bit of a liability, I can't lie. His first time he went on the pitch, the first thing he did was swipe at Firmino and miss the ball, and Núñez was through and probably should have scored. And for me, sometimes too many defenders is a bad thing. If you slap too many defenders on there, they get in the way of each other a little bit, I feel like. Really, it would have been Rob Holding to come on. If we had Saliba already starting, Rob Holding would have come into the team and he would have defended. But the way it's gone, we didn't have Rob Holding off the bench. We had him starting, so Kivior had to come off the bench. I get what you're saying. For me, I would have brought on Jorginho instead of Kivior because I don't think we need another centre-back. We just need another body in midfield just to nullify. So if Partey goes forward at least or gambles for the ball, we've got Jorginho to cover. That's the move I would have made. I would have brought off Ødegaard for Jorginho if you're going to make a defensive sub. And I get what you're saying, trying to bring on Tierney for Zinchenko, but it was just a minute too late because Zinchenko got rinsed for that goal. Trent Alexander-Arnold just right through his legs and then whipped it back post. And it had to be Firmino, man. I just knew this brother always scores against Arsenal. Always scores against us, man. It's crazy. Liverpool scored 2 goals there to make it 2-2. And both their goal scorers were the old players, man. The Salahs and the Firminos. It just goes to show. Like, that old players scored against us. Not Núñez, not Gakpo, not even Jota, really. Salah and Firmino, the old boys scored against us. It's crazy, man. Crystal Palace 5-1 up, but man, I really want to see you guys win that game. Palace played amazing as well in that match. They were unbelievable, especially in that second half. First half, they stunk, but in the second half, they really turned it around. Elise, big performance. I'm happy with the result because I want to see this go down to the wire. Exactly, C1. But now do you see what I mean, my friend? When I said Anfield's a litmus test. Even at 2-0, you can't get carried away, man, because Anfield is one of those places. It's never easy. This is the toughest game we'll play this season. It will be tougher than Man City away in terms of the atmosphere and the intensity. Because we've shown this season, and we've even shown in that first half, football-wise, Arsenal will play anyone off the park. Because if this was a football game, which it was in the first 30 minutes, Liverpool couldn't compete. Liverpool lost their heads a bit. They played this game with emotion rather than with equality. And Jurgen Klopp will come out in his press conference, obviously I'm not watching it, and he'll say he'll be really proud of the boys because they showed real fight and emotion in this game. Which they did. But to be fair, they had to. Because I'm telling you this, right? If Liverpool tried to play this game as a football match between themselves and Arsenal, they would have got beaten, battered and bruised. And that's exactly what happened. They got beaten, battered and bruised in that first half. You saw Van Dijk swipe out. Trent Alexander-Arnold swipe out. Robertson the same. Konate, how he got away without a booking is ludicrous. It's criminal. Liverpool lost their heads in the first half. But you got to ride it off emotion. And when they're at home, Anfield does crazy things, man. They turn into a superpower team sometimes. That's why we should have killed the game. And I think at 3-0 we would have killed it. We didn't quite get to 3-0. Even at 3-1 we would have killed it. It didn't quite happen. At the end of the day, you got to say we leave with a point. But there was some standout performance for Arsenal. I'm proud of this Arsenal team. Even if we were 2-0 up and some would say bottling, I don't believe it's bottling it. I just think this Arsenal team, they were incredible, man. They were incredible, the fight they showed. Absolutely incredible fight. Happy Easter, by the way, I forgot to say. Yeah, happy Easter to anyone watching. Appreciate you all tuning in on this Easter Sunday. Fair play for saying that. The ironic thing is that Chelsea probably had the best game at Anfield as a visiting top 6 team. Yeah, potentially, but that game was still 0-0 to be completely honest, and Liverpool stunk that day. Today, though, Arsenal, I'm looking at a team and I'm proud. I'm proud of this Arsenal team because they showed fight. And look, did we come away with the win? No. Did I think, you know what, when it got to the 80th minute, when Núñez missed that chance, I genuinely thought we were going to win that game. Because the whole time in that second half, I was just waiting for Liverpool to score. I was like, oh, it's coming, it's coming. It's like I was getting tortured slowly. It's like the knife was going slowly into my body. And when Núñez missed that chance around the 80th minute, I genuinely thought, oh my God, I think it's written in the stars that we win this match. Then when Firmino scored, I was like, it just had to be. It had to be. But regardless, I'm proud of the team because to hang on for 45 to 50 minutes there in a hostile ground against a team that's ruthless, just flying at you, left, right, centre, we did really well to hang in there and we come with a point. We don't leave with nothing, we leave with a point. And honestly, it's a point that we can look at each other in the eyes and say, you know what, we keep the momentum going. Yeah, it's in City's hands now and it's in our hands as well. But City, we expect them to still drop points from now to the end of the season. If City go flawless from now to the end of the season, you got a whole chance to say, fair play, Man City, fair play. But I still think there's nothing in the tank for Arsenal to go forward and win this Premier League, despite the fact we didn't win today. Because we showed both facets of the game. I thought at times we were brilliant football-wise. Brilliant, man. The way we were popping it from left to right, playing through them. Saka was brilliant. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. But at the same time, we showed another facet where we were just hanging there. Defensively astute. Ramsdale came up big, bro. In the running, your keeper is massive. And Ramsdale was big for us. What a keeping performance. Another point to make, Zinchenko can't defend. I mean, look, that's not his game. Zinchenko's game is to slot into midfield. And he did that brilliantly. I see what Arteta was trying to do. He was trying to bring on Tierney earlier. He really was trying to. It didn't quite happen in time because I thought Zinchenko actually played really well despite that. Just he cost us right at the end when he got nutmegged by Trent. It's one of those things, man. It happens. But I'm going to talk about some standout performance for Arsenal in there. For me, Aaron Ramsdale in goal, unbelievable. Some of the saves he made, top class, man. Top class. Gabriel at centre-back. Gabriel at centre-back was unbelievable today. He was so good, man. I know people say the first goal he was at fault. I don't really see that, to be fair. I think it was more a case of he did what he had to do. He tried to get ahead of it. He wasn't quite there in time and Salah and poked it into net. But I think Gabriel overall was unbelievable this game at the back. So good. And now go forward from the pitch. Partey, again, cleaning up. So good, man. I thought, to be fair, Ødegaard was a bit quiet. I thought Saka had flashes. He was a bit quiet. I thought Martinelli and Jesus also were unbelievable. Those were the 5 standout players for me. I think it was Ramsdale. It was, Gabriel. It was Partey. It was Martinelli. And it was Gabriel Jesus. The spine of our team right through the centre was solid that game. Them 5 were top, man. Unbelievable. Of course, with 2 minutes left, they score. And it was a sucker punch goal. And look, there were certain things going in that game where I thought, you know what? Maybe it's Arsenal's. Because you saw Salah miss a penalty. Like, who would have expected that? I know he hasn't had a good penalty record, but as soon as that penalty was given, I thought we were going to lose that game. Because I know if Saka made it 2-2 with 30-40 minutes to go, I think Arsenal lose that game. And I think Arsenal lose it 4-2, 5-2. Genuinely, I believe that. The fact he missed that penalty was a big call for us. And look, Liverpool, they were pushing, they were fighting. They don't quite win the game. We come away with a point, man. Would you be happy if Southgate started Pope over Ramsdale? I don't really support England, so I don't care, to be honest. But for me, Ramsdale has to start. His feet, with the feet, he's unbelievable. His distribution and also saving, man. This brother, he's proven Ramsdale that he's a top keeper. I will say as well, VVD turned it around in the second half. One interception that was any other defender, that would be 3-1. Yeah, in the second half, Liverpool stood up and were counted. And that's what I'm saying. The emotion took control of that game for Liverpool. They stopped playing it as a football game. And they started playing it as like an emotional... It was an emotionally charged fixture. Because in that first half, the first 35 minutes, everyone can agree that anyone that watches it with a non-biased head, when they tried to make it a football match, 2 teams trying to play football, Arsenal played Liverpool out the park. It wasn't even a competition. Arsenal popped it around and Liverpool had no hope. As soon as they tried to convert it into some kind of emotionally driven match where it was kind of like a gladiator fight, where there was emotion on the line, and there was electricity in the building, that's when Liverpool actually had something about them. And Van Dijk turned it around. And Liverpool used to playing in this atmosphere. They used to playing with an Anfield crowd behind them that's roaring them on. And Arsenal, to be fair, Arteta, we had some good tactics about us. If you notice in the first half, whenever Liverpool had a shot, our players would go down. I noticed it. First it was Ramsdale, then it was Gabriel. Our players would hit the deck and just kill the bleeding, man. Kill the momentum. It's so smart. I've been calling for Arsenal to do this for years. I feel like under Wenger, Arsenal were a bit soft. we'd be too naive and just try and be too nice, like a gentleman's team. I feel like under Arteta, we've got a good balance. We play really good football, but at times we know when to play a bit nasty and know when to do some dirty tricks, like going down injured, I want to say, because I don't think we're really injured, just to kill the game, nullify the momentum. And it worked at times. I mean, Liverpool still managed to score 2 goals here today, but I feel like it did work at times. But look, it's one of those things, but I still got to go back to it and say, Xhaka, I think his tantrum did cost us a little bit and allowed Liverpool to get back in that game. Because I think if we go into half-time 2-0, I think if we get to 60th minute by 2-0, I think we go through and we're comfortable in that game. But then again, even at 2-1, Gabriel had a header where he should have scored. Either side of Alisson is in the back of the net, but he heads it straight at the keeper, man. It's one of those things. What can you do? I was watching AFTV and they were like, no. And I was like, oh no, they score a goal to make it 2-2. It was coming. The 2-2 goal was coming. We were defending so well, but we were getting deeper and deeper and deeper, and Liverpool kept coming from all angles, and the goal was coming, and it prevailed for them, man. They get the draw. For Man City fans, are they happy? I think they would have loved Liverpool to win this game, especially given that Liverpool beat them. But I think Man City fans overall will be happy that Arsenal didn't win this football match, especially considering how they thought it'd go after the first 30 minutes or so. Liverpool's third best performance at home behind the 7-0 of United and 1-0 over City. Liverpool turn up in big games. It was an immaculate performance from Liverpool. And I've watched Liverpool a lot this season. I watched their last 2 games. And they have smelt recently, Liverpool. But at Anfield, they're a different beast, man. That's why I say it's the litmus test. Going to Anfield, if you win, you deserve to win the title. And I genuinely said, I think if Arsenal win at Anfield today, we'll win the Premier League. Even if we won 3-0, how it was looking in that first half, or if we hung on to win 2-1, like it could have been in that second half, either way, I would have looked at it and said, we deserve to win the Premier League, because it's one of those places. It's never an easy game. And even if it's too easy a game, you got to be worried. So I think that first half, I was like, hang on a minute, this is a bit too easy for Anfield. Why is this too easy? And then you gave them a little bit of hope. You set the match off, and then it was like a firecracker for Liverpool from then on, man. They were at you from all angles, and it was a battle to keep up. It was a well and truly a war to try and defend against Liverpool from that point on. Because as soon as you lit the match, they were at you from every single angle. And fair play to them, man. Because I think Liverpool did deserve a point. If I watch that game from a non-biased standpoint, I think the first 25 minutes was all Arsenal's. First 35 minutes, I think, was all Arsenal's, actually. And I think from then on, it was basically all Liverpool's. Arsenal had flashes on the counter-attack. But other than that, Liverpool had some big chances. But I feel like if you gave those chances to Arsenal, the game would have been over. Liverpool are really kind of helpless at times with their chances. They really missed some big chances for them, man. Arsenal play at the Etihad on April 26th, another tough game. It is, and I can't wait to watch that match. I, of course, will be streaming here on this channel after that one as well. I can't wait for it. I feel like, though, the Etihad game will be more of a football match, which I think will actually suit Arsenal. I don't think the Etihad's going to have the same atmosphere that Anfield has. No disrespect to the Man City fans, but it's not the same. When you play at Anfield, there's emotion on the line. I feel like the Etihad, if it's a football game, Arsenal got more of a chance. And I genuinely think we got a good chance against Man City. I do expect Man City to win that game, given they are at home. But if we get anything from that football match, even a draw against Man City, we're good. We're good. That's what I think the positive is for Arsenal. We can afford to not win at Man City and still have the title in our hands, which I think is a massive benefit for this football club. I know it's only a point today, and people are looking at it and go, Man City got 3 points yesterday, you only got a point today. But you got to look at the fixtures left and go, that's one of the tough games chalked off. So I think a lot of Man City fans would have expected Liverpool to win this game. They would have. Maybe from like a standpoint to like cover themselves and to not get their hopes up. They would have said, oh, Arsenal better than Man City, they would win. But I think a lot of Man City fans would have expected Liverpool to win this football game. And I think in the second half, you're watching it, when Salah gets a penalty, when Firmino even makes it 2-2, you're thinking Liverpool going to go on to win this football match. But Arsenal hung in there, man. Hung in there big time. And fair play to the boys. I've got nothing but praise for them for sticking in there. It was a performance that deserved a victory at times, especially given how we played in the first half. But you got to look at it and say, we riled our luck a little bit at the end. Liverpool were firing from all angles. We got away with it a little bit. Man City's won the title enough. I want to see Arsenal win it now. I think a lot of people do. A lot of people say, oh, I want Man City to win it. A lot of the Liverpool fans actually that I spoke to, because I went up to Liverpool recently, they actually wanted Arsenal to win the league. Because they know that City is just an oil club, man. Or natural gas club, whatever you want to call it, man. Oil club. They're fully just money FC. They've been far away for complaints. A lot of people want to see Arsenal win the league because it's like football's won again. You're looking at a team that hasn't spent a lot of money. Yeah, we've spent money, don't get me wrong, but we haven't bought the superstars of the game. We've actually nurtured our talent, and we've really built a squad under Mikel Arteta that's been trained well and nurtured well. So I think a lot of people would want Arsenal to win the title, to be fair. And again today, we put in a title-winning performance, just couldn't quite get it over the line. I'm interested to see after I finish this live stream what the pundits say actually, so I want to hear their reaction to it, because it's a game that a lot of people don't necessarily predict results, which I think draws in results, which is funny, because a lot of people, they go, oh, if Arsenal win, that's the title theirs. If they lose, it gives it to Man City. There was no one really talking about what if it's a draw. Because the draw is kind of like, it's in no man's land a little bit. Is it a good point? Is it 2 points dropped? I'm interested to see what everyone says in the chat regarding it. Because for me, I look and I say, before the game, I would have taken a point potentially because it keeps the momentum going. It's not like we fall away or anything. But at the same time, I'm going at 2-0 up, at the way the game's going. We got Jesus on the pitch cooking. Martinelli's cooking. Saka's looking good. We really should have finished that game off. We really should have put Liverpool to the sword there. We didn't, and we let them back in the game. And the momentum swung, the pendulum swung. It was like this for Arsenal, and then it was like that for Liverpool. And genuinely, if that game went on for 5-10 more minutes, I think Arsenal would have lost that football match. Genuinely, I think so. So it's the way it goes. You've got to look at it both sides. I think my emotions telling me that I'm disappointed we didn't win that game. But at the same time, you've got to look at it from a non-biased standpoint and say, Liverpool really had that second half. They had us on the ropes, really. Salah penalty curse. Penalty kick for Liverpool against Bournemouth. Salah skies over the bar. Take 2, he puts it left against Arsenal. He did. And I wasn't expecting him to miss. Genuinely, as soon as that penalty was given, I was ready to talk about this live stream saying, we threw it away. We threw it away. And Rob Holding, and this is what I was saying, this is why I wanted Saliba to start. Did Rob Holding have a bad game? No, he didn't have a terrible match. But at times, you wanted Saliba's calmness and his coolness. And Rob Holding just doesn't possess that. Rob Holding does not possess the aura that Saliba possesses. He doesn't possess that calm head that Saliba has. Rob Holding at times is rash. He gave away a penalty in the first half. Loose ball set Liverpool through. They could have got away with it. And genuinely, I think towards the end of the game, he gets subbed on instead of Kivior, and we might hang on for it. Who knows, man? It's one of those things. We just got to keep it going. Our next 2 games for Arsenal is West Ham United away and Southampton at home. 2 games that you'd expect Arsenal to win. City, they play Leicester, I believe, next week. Easy 3 points for them. Then I believe they don't play because they've got an FA Cup match. Then, of course, it's the showdown between Arsenal and Man City. And it's going to go to that game. And it's going to be a massive football match between Arsenal and Man City. I can't wait for it. But this game here today, look, it's a draw. We didn't lose. We didn't lose at Anfield. I watched Manchester United, who are not a bad football team, by the way. Anyone that sits here and says United are terrible, please don't tell me United are terrible. United are a good football team. They went to Anfield and they got absolutely taken to the cleaners. In a similar atmosphere to this. You could say, oh, it's a derby game, rival game. Yeah, it is. We know Liverpool and United are the biggest rivals. It's probably the biggest rivalry in England. But you could not tell me, watching that game today, here in the crowd, that Liverpool were not fired up for this game. They were fired up. This was the loudest I've heard Anfield this season. They were fired up for this football match, man. I'm telling you that for free. And we rode it. We rode it. We didn't capitulate. And I think, to be honest, I think if we went a goal down, we could have capitulated. But even at 2-2, we hung in there and we came away with a point. It's a point gain, man. We've gained 1 more point on the table. And City, I know they won yesterday, but it remains a 6-point gap. City, of course, got a game in hand to reduce it down to 3 points. That game at the Etihad is crucial. But we've got to look at it and go, we've got to keep it moving forward, man. Keep moving forward if you're Arsenal Football Club. It's one of those games we would have loved to win it. It probably would be the best opportunity to win at Liverpool we're going to get in a long time, given how bad Liverpool are and how good we are. But bias aside, emotion aside, you take it as it is and you say it's a point and we move forward. It's a point and we move forward, man. Nothing more to say about it in that respect. Let's talk about the performance on the pitch, though. Because I've got to look at it and I've got to go. Jesus today, my son, unbelievable, Gabriel Jesus. Gabriel Jesus knew what it was like to play in this game, man. At some points, I was watching this brother do some skill and I was like, oh my God. Am I watching this brother play football right now? Or is this Pele? Because Gabriel Jesus at times was just liquid, man. Just in tight areas, manoeuvring the football. There's one point where he gets the ball, flicks over Thiago's head, heads it, and then no look, just volleys it over to Martinelli. It's actually liquid football. And this Arsenal team's got quality to them now, man. Like, people saw the Sky Sports, like, Gary Neville was creaming at times talking about Arsenal right here. He was saying Saka, Martinelli, Jesus is the best front three he's seen since Liverpool's front three. And I'm watching that Arsenal front three now. I agree with him, man. Like, we're seeing a good football team here. So a lot of people saying Arsenal next season might not fight for the title again. Yeah, I can see why you might think that. But I'm looking at this Arsenal team. I see a team that's built together and a team that looks good for years to come. I'm seeing a solid football team right here, like Arsenal exhibiting. A football team that is looking good and getting better each and every year. Like, I'm seeing a team right now and they can play football, man. Even Saka at times. I was watching some things from him. It was liquid. One point where, in the second half, and really if we scored this, it would have made it, I think, 3-1 and it would have been game over. He's penned in the corner with Robertson and Konate. He does like a back heel left foot and takes it away from them. He squares it, but no one's in the box because Odegaard got subbed off for Kivior. And yeah, it's one of those things, man. But At times I'm watching this Arsenal team, I'm thinking this is liquid football. And in that first half, the way we're playing through the lines, Zinchenko slotting into midfield, it was really good, man. Really good stuff. We couldn't quite do enough to get away with it. One of those things, man. We take the point. We take the point and we proceed. Arsenal fans, let me know if you don't take the point, but for me, I take the point and we proceed, man. West Ham next week, we have to win that game. Southampton the week after at home, we have to win that game and we keep it moving. But the thing is also with Sky Sports, yeah, and not even just Sky Sports, Premier League, they mock it. Every week we play after Man City. It's crazy. I think Southampton's the only time, and even then, City don't even have a Premier League game. Like, City playing the FA Cup. Every single week we're playing after Man City. I don't get it. Why is it Man City first, us second? It's like in a penalty shootout. The team that takes first has got the advantage. Every week we're playing after Man City. It's unfair, man. It's unfair. It gives them a major psychological boost. But it's one of those things, man. It's crazy the way we do things around here. It's crazy how Arsenal managed to salvage a point. Especially how Ramsdale turned into performance of the season at the end. Some of those saves I was watching that guy make, bro. I was like, what is this? Am I seeing Gordon Banks? Am I seeing what's it called, Ramsdale out there? The Salah away, just palms it like a cat just away from the goal. Then Konate is crazy. Had to do something. I'm back now. Appreciate you coming back into the stream, my man. I mean, the game still got me thinking, man. There's so much to talk about. I'm trying to like summarize everything that could be said. Because there's just so much riding on that game. So much that happened, so much that could have happened. Crazy performance. I think a lot of Arsenal fans will come away with it disappointed. And I agree, you should be disappointed. I'm disappointed myself. But I think a lot of Arsenal fans also got to look at it for the way it is and say, it's a tough game, man. It's a tough game. You know, it's a game that if you look on paper, and the thing for me is if it's played at any other ground other than Anfield, not even at the Emirates, if it's played at any other football ground other than Anfield, Arsenal walk this game easy. But it's one of those things. Also, the 3-1 at the end, that was their chance. Exactly, right at the end of the match, clearing away from the corner. It just needs to be a perfectly weighted pass to Saka, and we could have won that game, but it's not there. And we don't quite get the 3 points, man. Just sometimes you need a bit of a cool head in there. And I think for a moment in that match, Arsenal lost their heads a little bit. We recovered in time, but I think for a moment in that match, Arsenal did lose their heads a little bit, and we were tired. You could tell, even walking to take that corner, Saka, he got booked for time wasting. The brother was walking. It's not like he was standing still. He was just tired, man. He was gassed out from that game because there was a lot of chasing. It was mentally tiring as well, that football match. It was both physically and mentally tiring for Arsenal because they put everything on the line, man. Everything on the line today to try and get the 3 points. It didn't end up happening. It's one of those things. But also a good thing for Arsenal is we knew how to manage that game here today. Because there was times when we went down, injured, managed the game a little bit. Managed the game big time. And get the clock stopped. Get the players a breather. Get him around Arteta. Give him a little team talk. And get back into it, man. Play the game with timeouts. You know, in the NBA, NFL, they have timeouts. We had timeouts there. That's what it felt like. It was really good. I feel like our management today, Arsenal's, knew what they were doing. Knew how to play the game. Knew how to manage the game at Anfield. Even when it got feisty. And genuinely, I think any team on planet Earth would have struggled in that second half. It's not even just the Arsenal thing. I think if you put Man City there, if you put Real Madrid there, any team would have struggled in that second half. The way Liverpool poured it on us. We did what we had to do, man. We did what we had to do at the end of the day. Overall, great, competitive, energizing, exciting game. 1 point better than nothing. Exactly. I have to agree with that. 1 point better than nothing. And for me, that's the best game in the Premier League so far this season. It's the best game in the Premier League. And I'm just so privileged as an Arsenal fan. I said this at the start of the stream, but I appreciate not a lot of you would have been tuned in at that point. I appreciate as an Arsenal fan, watching an Arsenal game and see my team perform in the best games this season. So I feel like this game I would have watched, it would have been City Liverpool in years gone by. Or Liverpool United maybe. Well, I would have just watched the game and gone, it's so enthralling to watch, but I haven't got a horse in the race. I'm watching it as a neutral. But now I'm watching my Arsenal team play in exciting games that have implications, and I've got a horse in that race. I'm watching my team be involved in title-winning games. My team be involved in energized, passionate games. Games that make the front page of the newspaper. Games that got everything right on them. Games that are the biggest games this season. I'm watching my team involved in that. And it's a stark contrast to how it's been in years gone by. Because otherwise I watch Arsenal and it's a big game, but it's not the biggest game of the season. For years gone by, it's been Liverpool versus Man City. For the past 5 seasons, that's the biggest game of the season. This today felt like one of the biggest games of the season. And when Arsenal go to Etihad on the 26th of April, it will be the biggest game of the season. I don't doubt you that one bit. Got going now. See you, mate. Have a good rest of your Easter. Same with you, my friend. Appreciate you checking into the stream. As always, if you're new around here, make sure you subscribe. I do all Arsenal match reactions as well as football matches. I did 3 streams yesterday for all the games, man. The 12:30 kickoff, the 3 p.m. kickoffs, and the 5:30 p.m. kickoffs. If you love football, this is the place to be. Make sure you subscribe down below. You don't want to miss my streams, man. I've covered a lot of Arsenal games. It's been a rollercoaster journey this season. And genuinely, coming into this match, I thought Arsenal got enough to get through here. I thought Arsenal would have enough to get through. When I'm watching the game, I'm thinking at 2-1, Salah missed a penalty, Núñez missed a one-on-one. Is it written in the stars? I see Martin Tyler give the stat saying the last 2 times Arsenal won the Premier League trophy, they won at Anfield and they won both those games 2-1. Was it meant to be? Who knows, man? Who knows? I think it's a point we got to take. I genuinely think that. I think it's a point we got to take with the positive. You take it with a pinch of salt, given what happened in the first half and given that we really should have run away with that match. And I think one more goal, because the difference between 2-0 and 3-0 is just stark. I know it's only one more goal, but 2-0 to 3-0 is a massive game changer. Massive, massive game changer. I think if we did make it 3-0, it would have really taken that game away from Liverpool, by all accounts. I think at 3-0, it's over. And honestly, I think at 2-1 to 3-1, it's over as well, the game, because the crowd gets sucked out of it. But 2-0 to 2-1 just gives Liverpool the impetus, gives them all the encouragement they need to go on and get a goal they did. And of course, it's Bobby Firmino, the guy that's leaving at the end of the season, the guy that our would Liverpool players probably has no reason to really care as much as the other players. He's literally abandoning ship at the end of the season. Yeah, he still came out and managed to score against us. It's crazy what football does, man. And that's just a Firmino thing. He will score against Arsenal. It's the way it is. I think it's 11 goals against Arsenal now. Second highest of any Liverpool player against Arsenal. It's just him in a nutshell, man. Managed to score that goal. And I look at the chances we had. We didn't have as big a chances as Liverpool, but on the break, with the clinicality Arsenal got, I expected us to really put some more chances away, man. Like Jesus in the first half, he's whipped into him, back post, can't quite put it away. Even when Martinelli's put through, Zinchenko needs to play that ball a split second earlier to Martinelli's through in the centre of the box. Even right at the death, when we're breaking from their corner, just on point past the Saka, and we could score there, but it just doesn't quite end up happening, man. It's one of those things, man. One of those things. Interested to hear your thoughts as well. Keep them coming in the live chat, what you lot are thinking regarding this game, because I know a lot of Arsenal fans will be sitting there going disappointed because they didn't get the 3 points, and I'm disappointed too. I genuinely am, but you got to look at it and say it's one of those things. Liverpool, they're not a great football team. They showed in the second half that they are a brilliant team, but trust me, they're not a great football team. In that first half, they got ripped to shreds and they lost their head as well, Liverpool. I saw Van Dijk swipe at Martinelli. I saw Fabinho swipe at Odegaard. I'm seeing these Liverpool players lose their heads by all accounts, man. Swiping, kicking out. And Robertson as well. I'm sick to death of Robertson sometimes. This brother, Roy Keane, summed up perfectly. And thank you, Roy Keane, for saying this. Robertson is a big baby. And he is, man. Robertson whinging. Henderson whinging, crying. Yeah, the assistant might have elbowed him a little bit. And he has no right to do that, the assistant. I agree. But that whole game, Robertson whinging, crying. But he's the same guy to kick out at Saka at the smallest opportunity. Barge into Saka, go through the back of him. It's the same player, Robertson. He has no problem going through the back of a player. He has no problem kicking out any Arsenal player. But the slightest inconvenience happens to him, and he's crying, whinging about it. Oh, it's a foul, ref. Oh, they're wasting time. Grow up, man. Just grow up. This Liverpool team sometimes really, really needs to get their heads screwed up properly because they lost their heads in that first half. The emotion, it fueled them in that second half. And I genuinely would not have been surprised if Liverpool got a red card in that second half because they were at it. Like, ferociously at it. Didn't quite end up happening, and they actually used the motivation, I guess, to fuel them to get back in the game. And you got to credit the Liverpool teams. They knew how to ride that emotion, and they knew how to manage the Anfield crowd and use it to their advantage. They didn't falter with all the pressure and all the energy and the intensity. They used it to their advantage to get back in the game. But equally, I've got to say big up Arsenal, because in that hostile crowd, in that hostile atmosphere, we came out with a point, and we stuck to the game plan, and we stuck to our guns. No matter how much Liverpool threw at us, no matter how many chances they had, our Ramsdale, our keeper, saved us big time at moments, and we stayed in the game, and that's the main thing. And in football-wise, we played Liverpool at the park. Intensity-wise, Liverpool had us, but we stayed in there. We stayed in there and we got a point. And we got a point to keep the ship moving. It's one more to add to the list, and we keep it going. West Ham next week. West Ham in a good vein of form, but I got good hopes against West Ham, to be completely honest. I got really good hopes that we can get something from that game. I think then we've got, after that, we've got Southampton at home. Southampton we should beat. I'll be honest, especially at home we should beat. So you're looking and you're thinking, it's a point now. We hopefully can get 6 points from our next 2 games. I know it's one game at a time, but still. And then we've got a massive showdown against Man City. And if we can get something from that game, that Man City game, even if it's a point against Man City, I think the title was good. I think the title is ours if we get even just a point at Man City. That's the way it's going, to be completely honest. It's one of those games, we got to take the point, and we proceed. Let's get into the player ratings. In goal, Aaron Ramsdale. 9 out of 10 for me, man. Aaron Ramsdale, 9 out of 10. I can't give him a 10 out of 10 because we didn't win the game, and at the end of the day, we conceded 2 goals, but I thought he was immense at the end of that game, Aaron Ramsdale. Immense, some of the saves he made. Unbelievable. Three of them. The Núñez one, brilliant left-hand stop. Then right at the end of the match, you got Salah, who shoots. It deflects off Gabriel, and he's got the reflexes to tip it over the bar. It's incredible goalkeeper from Ramsdale. Then right at the end, Konate trying to like chest it in, and he's there to palm it away again. Ramsdale, 9 out of 10. That is the best goalkeeping performance he's made this season. Honestly, it was unbelievable. That and against Tottenham away. In the big games, Ramsdale's starting to turn up for us. And that's a really good sign. If your goalkeeper can turn up in big games, you're on to a winning thing there. And against Tottenham away and today against Liverpool away, Ramsdale's been massive for us. Let's move on to the back four. Ben White. Ben White got a needless yellow card in the first half, to be completely honest. And I think other than that, he was here and there. I don't think Ben White was a standout performer by any chance. He kept his head a little bit, and on that second goal, he was bullied out the air from Firmino to score. It's one of those things for Ben White. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. I thought holding was at times good, especially one time when he was clearing it away with his head, but at other points he was rash. Gave the ball away, gave a penalty away. I know the penalty didn't cost us, but still, lost his head at times, Rob Holding, man. I got to say, that's poor from him, poor decision making. He's really got to keep his noggin and keep to the best form there, and we could have come away with more. We could have come away with 3 points, but it's one of those things, man. Rob Holding, I'm giving him a 6.5 out of 10. Gabriel's immense. Gabriel, 8.5 out of 10. He was so good today, man. Gabriel, since the World Cup, has elevated his game to different levels, man. Different levels. Even with Saliba missing, he was so good today, man. Unbelievable at times, keeping his head composed. Every time Salah was getting no change out of Gabriel. His one-on-one defending, I don't think anyone would pass him that whole game. I genuinely don't think that was the case, because he was so good. He literally just wall at the back and prevented everything. Gabriel, unbelievable performance. Welcome in Sawand YouTube. Welcome in, brother. Make sure you subscribe if you're new around here. Anyone else that's new, subscribe for daily Arsenal. Arsenal live streams, football live streams in general. I appreciate you tuning into the live stream. Let me know your thoughts of the game. So yeah, Gabriel, 8.5 out of 10. Zinchenko, I'm gonna give it 8 to. People say, oh, that's quite lucky. I don't know how he's getting an 8. I thought Zinchenko was really good in that game. He just cost us at the end. And if he didn't cost us, he would have got a 9. But he cost us right at the end. Actually, Zinchenko 7.5. 7.5 because the way he got nutmegged by Trent, man, it cost us towards the end of the game. And other times where he just needs to play a perfect through ball and it just wasn't quite there. But I don't think Zinchenko had a bad game whatsoever. In fact, I'll say Zinchenko was a big part of us controlling that football match. But yeah, just towards the end of that game, he got nutmegged by Trent. It led to the goal. Tierney on the pitch slightly earlier for Zinchenko might have saved us. One of those things, man. You take it as it is with football. Zinchenko, 7.5 out of 10. Moving to midfield. Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey was not the standout player on that pitch, but boy, he should have been. What a performance in there, man. Not enough plaudits. Not enough people talked about Partey in that game because he was so good. He was cleaning up so much, man. Clean up the possession, keep it moving. He was a calm head in there. Really good performance on Thomas Partey. And I always say with the CDM, yeah, if you don't always notice them, it can be a good sign. Because he would just get about his business silently. Silent assassin. He won't slide tackling. He won't go into ground. He was just winning the ball back on his feet and getting us moving on the counter-attack. Efficient performance. Silent assassin. Mr. Octopus. Thomas Partey in there. Great performance. 8 out of 10 for me. Moving forward. Granit Xhaka. Granit Xhaka 7 out of 10. For me, he's going to get one of the lower performing scores. Why he got involved with Trent Alexander-Arnold, I will never know. I will never know. That in part was one of the reasons we didn't win this game. I'm not saying it was the reason we didn't win it, but it's one of the reasons. Because it's the butterfly effect. It's a chain reaction. Trent Alexander-Arnold kicks out at him. Fine. Keep your head, Granit Xhaka. Just keep your head, bro. You've done so well this season not to lose your head. He gets rattled. Bang, the crowd are up for it. 2 minutes later, Liverpool score. Bang, the crowd are up for it even more. And then push comes to shove. And pressure was relentless. And we cave in towards the end. It's one of those things. But for Granit Xhaka, he lost his head a little bit there. He maintained it afterwards and he didn't get sent off. So big up him for that. But in that moment, just keep a calm head, bro. Keep your cool. And we're on our way to 3 points at Anfield. A massive 3 points. Didn't quite end up doing that, man. One of those things for Granit Xhaka. 7 out of 10. Moving forward, Odegaard. Odegaard had a quiet game for me. Genuinely a really quiet game. Obviously, he was there passing the ball, recycling possession. But that's Odegaard's game. If he doesn't do that, he's not playing football. Other than that, I thought Odegaard was really quiet. And to be fair, I'm going to come out and say it. Odegaard in big games away from home, apart from Tottenham away, he was big there. He does kind of go missing because he's not a fighter, Odegaard, in that respect. No disrespect, because Odegaard's been one of my favourite players this season. And genuinely, he's been one of the best Arsenal players this season. But when it's a football game, Odegaard's involved. But when it's a fight, when it's a scrap like it was in that second half, I see why Arteta took Odegaard off. Because Odegaard isn't a fighter.
I'm not saying not a fighter. He's mentally a fighter, but he's not a scrapper. He's not an intensity-driven Donny. He's not someone that's gonna be emotionally charged in that game. So it was right to take him off, I think. When it was a football match, we saw the best out of Odegaard. As soon as it became a fight in that second half, he weren't quite up for it. I don't think he had an awful game. I think he was alright, but I don't think he was as influential as he probably should have been, Odegaard. For me, a 7.5 out of 10. Moving to the front three, I thought Saka, out of all the front three players, he was the quietest, but he still had a big part to play in this football match. He was rinsing Alex Robertson, Andy Robertson. He didn't know what to do with him. He had no clue what to do with him, Andrew Robertson, man. He was there trying to get tight to him, wasn't working. Trying to get off him, wasn't working. He got spun. On that first Arsenal goal, he got decked. Decked by Saka. He didn't even touch the ball. He just fainted and he was gone. And he was the one that made the movement for the first Arsenal goal. Saka was really good there. Robertson was trying to go through the back of him. He was trying to foul him. He didn't know what to do to contend with Bukayo Saka in that football match. Andrew Robertson whatsoever. I'm going to have to give Saka 8 out of 10. I thought Martinelli other flank was immense. Goal and assist. So good in that first half, Martinelli. He lost his legs a little bit in the second half. He got a bit tired, but I thought Martinelli was really good. And he justified his decision to start that football match. Because I was saying, people ask me, who should I start? I said, for me, we start Martinelli, Saka, Jesus. Why? Because I think Martinelli gets Trent, knows what to do. He's a touchline winger. He can cook. And also, them three got more experience playing together. Trossard, Saka, Jesus, which would have been the other option. They've got less experience playing together. So I think it was the right decision playing Martinelli. It's a decision I wanted to make as well. And I think he justified that. Goal and assist, immense today. Martinelli, 8.5 out of 10. I think Jesus also 8.5 out of 10 as well. For me, I would have taken off Martinelli, not Jesus, really. So I think Jesus up there, he had legs to continue in that game. And he was so good, man. Some things I'm watching Jesus do, and I'm thinking, is this Pele? Like, I don't want to gas the guy up too much, but honestly, was it Pele? Times where the ball comes over, so he's just heading it, flicking it, knee it, and then no-look pass over to Martinelli. It's just liquid football, man. Like, you're watching that and you're thinking, oh my days, like, this brother can play football, Jesus. He's a striker, man. He's a footballer right there, a baller. Technically gifted. Even in tight spaces, just manoeuvring the football, man. Step overs, body feints. Brazilian, joga bonito. Like, he knows how to play football, that guy, Gabriel Jesus, man. Again, top performance in there. For me, Jesus, 8.5 out of 10. Ramsdale gets man of the match just for the saves he made at the end, but Gabriel Jesus, that is the centre-back, Gabriel Jesus, and Aaron Ramsdale, for me, were unbelievable, those three. So good in that team, man. Partey as well, performer as well. Martinelli for his goal contributions. A lot of players stood up and were counted today, but I gotta look at it and still say, my boy Aaron Ramsdale, top of the picks, man. Top of the tree. Unbelievable saves to keep us in this football match. So good. We keep it stepping now, man. Arsenal fans, Gooners, listen to me. It's not the 3 points we would have wanted. It gives Man City the hope and the inclination. I don't see that team dropping a lot of points from now to the end of the season. But we got to keep it stepping now. We got to keep it stepping. It is technically still in our hands. It's in City's hands as well, because if they beat us at the Etihad, you got to say it's City's title to lose. But it's still in our hands in a way. We got to keep this stepping. We got to keep it moving. It's a point. We would have loved 3, but it is a point. We got 2 winnable games next. We've won all our games before coming to Anfield after that City loss. We've got 2 more games we've got to win before we go to the Etihad. We keep it stepping, man. We keep it stepping. We keep the ship moving in the right direction. And hopefully there's a title for us at the end of the season. Because I'm looking at this game, I'm thinking, although it's not a win, the way we pulled out a draw in that game, you got to look at it sometimes and go, that's not a draw Arsenal should have got towards the end of the game. If you look on the balance of the 2 halves, a draw probably is fair. But if you look at, if an alien came down to planet Earth and they looked at that game and only watched the last 45 minutes, the second half basically, they would have gone, how have Arsenal come away with a point here? How have Arsenal come away with a point? Because Liverpool put on the pressure. They piled it on. We got away with it a little bit. We got away with it a little bit towards the end of the match. And we keep it stepping, man. We keep it stepping. I appreciate everyone tuning into the stream, man. Really good stream once again. My next stream will be on Tuesday for the Man City versus Bayern Munich Champions League. I cannot wait for it. What a game that will be. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that one. Football streams, basically, whenever there's a big football match on TV, I'll be there. We will be there no matter what to stream it. The Arsenal title running, of course, will be covered on this channel from now till the end of the season. I'm there and I'm going for the Wolves game. Arsenal Wolves, I will be there. I'll be vlogging it. The last game of the season, hopefully to bring a title to N5. I can't wait for it, man. This season had a lot of ups and downs. This game's been unbelievable. It's so good, man. So good. Do stream on your other channel, CEO1 says. Brother, I'm planning to. My other channel, Dennis Sancar, where I go through university tips, social media tips, driving tips, everything and anything. He's saying do a stream on the other channel. I am planning to do that at some point. Definitely, I will do that. A Q&A session, potentially on my other channel. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. It will be coming. Dennis Sancar, as well. Check out that channel. But for Why Football, this is all about football here in what has been a rollercoaster season. As an Arsenal fan, I've got to say I'm just delighted to watch my team play good football. Whether we win this league or not, and I think it will be a shame if Arsenal don't win this Premier League. Genuinely, it will be a massive shame. But one thing I will say about this Arsenal team is, regardless if we win this league or not, I have to say that I'm proud of this football team. And for once, I'm watching an Arsenal team where I genuinely resonate with the side. I genuinely resonate with a team that I can see cares about the badge and a team that I can associate myself with, and really think it's been a pleasure to watch Arsenal play football this season. A pleasure to watch. I go to watch Arsenal games excited, and I will go into any Arsenal game this season, and I haven't had this in a lot of seasons, where any match, Anfield, Liverpool away, even to the Etihad in a few weeks' time, where I can go in with the expectation that Arsenal can get something from the game. Where I can go with the expectation that Arsenal good enough to win that football match. And I haven't seen that in recent years for Arsenal. In recent years, when we go Anfield away, when we go to the Etihad, I'm sitting there thinking, oh, how much are we going to lose by? Like, I know secretly I'm hoping Arsenal get a result, but at the same point you're thinking, how much are we going to lose by? Like, just don't lose badly at the same time. I know you don't want to have that mentality. I never do. I always go into Arsenal games wanting to win that match no matter who we play. But this season, I go into games expecting to win sometimes. Like, genuinely, that's how good this Arsenal team has been. And they showed again today in that first half. It's been so good, the football. So good. We play any team out the park. And we showed some fight in the second half. And I think any team, whether it was Arsenal, if it was Man City, any team on planet Earth, I think if they went to Anfield in that second half, they would have crumbled. We didn't crumble. We crumbled a little bit, but not enough to lose the match. We still came out with a point. And that's the main thing. So big up Arsenal for that. Honestly, I'm still waiting for my club to do the same. Yeah, look. Arsenal fans, fan of any other club, if you're watching your team, football's about entertainment at the end of the day. It's about entertainment. And I'm watching my team, I'm being entertained. And I'm watching my team play and I've got a smile on my face watching Arsenal play football. Seeing Jesus do certain things. Seeing Odegaard, Saka do certain things on the football. Seeing the way we pass between the lines, I'm like, look at this football, man. Look at the way we pass it. From defence to attack sometimes. It's so good, man. Smiling watching that team play football is so good. And at that point, I've got to say it, unbelievable from Arsenal. Unbelievable at times. Hi Kiji, thank you for joining the stream. I appreciate you joining, my man. Hand pink waving. I think I'm saying high five. High five to you as well. Appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you subscribe if you're new around here for Arsenal related content, football related content. We'll be covering the title race running, relegation battle, race for the Champions League, race for Europe. Anything that's got a race involved in the Premier League, I'll be covering it. Don't worry about that. I'm loving ice hockey doing so well in that league. Yeah, big up NHL. I don't really watch it to be completely honest, but big up your team in that ice hockey league. Hey guys, welcome in Keji as well. Man. I'm looking at it thinking, it's a point we got to take and move forward. Next week, City got Leicester. I'll be there no matter what, streaming after that game. I don't expect Leicester to get anything from that match. But look, strange things have happened. We've seen Everton get a point, to be honest. But Arsenal didn't manage to get the win today. It is what it is. We take the point. We move forward. Big up the players. I applaud the players despite the fact they didn't win, for the fight they put in there. I saw some real standout performers. And it was tough here today. But we still came out of the victory. And that's the main thing for this Arsenal team. I got to sit in, I got to say, big up yourselves for that. You did really, really well. They're playing like Arsenal in that league. Exactly, man. Exactly. One of those things, man. If they're playing like Arsenal in that league, hey, they may be on to win the title. Arsenal, I still think we've got enough to win the title. I genuinely believe we've got enough. I think if we won today, as I've said in all my streams over the past week, I've been saying it. People have been asking me about the Anfield clash. From the streams last week, from after Newcastle versus Manchester United, when I streamed Newcastle beating United 2-0, I had people in this chat saying, do you think Arsenal are going to win at Anfield? What team would you play at Anfield? And I said the whole time, I said, Anfield's a litmus test. I don't care how bad Liverpool are, Anfield's a tough game. And I genuinely believe if we win at Anfield, we will win the title. We haven't won at Anfield, but I still think we can win the title. I don't think we will, like, in that respect, because I think if we'd won today, I would have come out and I said, we're winning that title. It's ours. Like, it's ours. No doubt about it, it's ours. Today, I still got a little bit of doubt on it. I still think we've got enough in the tank to win it. And I don't think this draws by any means a bad result for Arsenal. But it's one of those things. You want the 3 points, you get the point, you move forward. When Tottenham beat us to get top 4 last season, they got a point at Liverpool. Now, granted, that was a better Liverpool team than this Liverpool team. But still, the atmosphere, the way it is, the intensity, the Anfield crowd, you got to look at it on the balance play and say, it's a point we got to take and we got to move forward. I appreciate everyone tuning into the channel. Make sure you subscribe if you're new around here. I will be covering the run-in from now to the end of the season, of course, with all types of live streams. My next stream will be Man City versus Bayern Munich in the Champions League. I can't wait for that on Tuesday evening. Stream starting about 10 p.m. Check out the community tab on my channel if you want to see the streams that are coming up that I'll be doing. I've been Wifeful. I appreciate you all for tuning into this live stream. Make sure you subscribe. I hope to see you all in my next one. Come on, you Gunners, and take care.